All right, today we're going to break down a really fascinating case study. It's not about politics or history, but it is about a constitution. It's a personal rulebook for traders called the 2026 Trading Constitution. And honestly, it's a masterclass in how to govern yourself when the stakes are high.
So let me ask you this, and be honest. For anyone who's ever invested or traded, does this question hit home? It often feels like a constant battle, right? A civil war raging inside your own head between your logical, well-thought-out plan and the chaos of fear and greed trying to stage a coup. We all know one bad emotional decision can wipe out months of hard work.
So what if instead of constantly trying to fight and suppress those emotions, you just created a system to manage them? That's the whole idea behind this constitution. You build a framework, basically a personal government, that gives every single impulse a proper place and a purpose, all while protecting what matters most, your long-term goals. And that brings us right to the heart of this whole framework. And it doesn't start with 100 complicated rules. Nope. It starts with one single, powerful principle that guides everything else. This is it. This is the one-line supreme principle of the entire document, and it's absolutely brilliant. It sets up two totally separate jobs. One account is purely mechanical, almost robotic. Its only purpose is to make money by following a very strict set of rules. The other account, that's your pressure release valve. It's built to absorb all those emotional urges to just do something. And the most important law of the land, they are never, ever allowed to influence each other. So, how is this government actually structured? Well, it's set up kind of like a two-house legislature, with two chambers that have very different powers and very different responsibilities. Let's meet the two houses. First up, you have the trend account. Think of this as the calm, deliberative Senate. It only looks at the big picture, the weekly chart, and it only makes decisions over the weekend, away from all the noise. And then you've got the trading account. This is your fast-moving, high-energy House of Representatives. It operates on the daily time frame, and its job is to give you that outlet for short-term action. Now, here's where it gets really clever. This separation of powers isn't just about rules. It's about your actual money. The vast majority of your capital, a full 80%, is locked away and protected inside the rule-based Senate. That's your trend account. This means only a small, controlled 20% is ever at play in the House, where emotions are allowed to run a little wild. This structure just inherently protects the bulk of your capital from your own worst impulses. And that trend account, the Senate, it operates under an incredibly strict mandate. The weekly chart is the one and only source of truth. All that daily noise, completely and totally ignored. And this is crucial. No actions are permitted midweek. Period. This forces you to be patient and stops you from reacting to every little bit of market drama. And this quote, this just perfectly explains the why behind that rule. It's like a personal diagnostic tool. That feeling, that itch to do something on a Tuesday afternoon, the Constitution says that's not a market signal, it's an emotional signal. You're taught to recognize it for what it is and just let it pass. Okay, so we've got the structure. Now let's dig into the specific, non-negotiable laws for buying and selling. And these aren't just suggestions or guidelines, they are automated commands written directly into the Constitution.
Okay, here's the first law for taking profits. Now, don't get bogged down in the specific jargon here. The concept is what's key. It's a simple if-then command. If a specific checklist of technical conditions is met, then you are constitutionally required to reduce your position. There's no room for thinking, oh, maybe it'll go just a little bit higher. The rule is the rule, you just execute.
And here is the ultimate safety net. It's a clear line in the sand. If the price closes below a key level on the weekly chart, you must exit your entire position. This law is what prevents a bad situation from becoming a total catastrophe. There's no interpretation, no second guessing. You're out. But see, the laws don't just protect you on the way down, they force you to act on the way up. When specific conditions signal a potential bottom, the Constitution commands you to deploy capital. This directly counteracts that feeling of fear that keeps so many people from buying when the opportunity is actually the greatest. And on the flip side, once the trend is confirmed by getting back above that same key level, the Constitution requires you to go to full deployment. As the document itself says, hesitation is a rule violation. The system is designed to overcome not just fear, but the hesitation that fear creates. Of course, any good constitution also needs a bill of prohibitions, right?
These are the actions that are explicitly forbidden. And just look at them. They target the most common psychological traps out there: reacting to the news, letting your current profits or losses dictate your strategy, and of course, falling for the four most expensive words in investing. This time is different. So you have all these laws, but laws don't mean much without enforcement, do they? So how does the system actually make sure you comply? Well, it has its own judicial branch. Enforcement starts with this incredibly clear hierarchy, this chain of command for your decisions. Rules are king, period. They dictate the system. And your personal feelings, or what some expert on TV is forecasting, they are at the absolute bottom of the pyramid. If there's ever a conflict, the rules always win. And you keep yourself honest with a really simple, regular review process. It's like a self-audit. Every day you check in on the House, your trading account, and every single week you hold a constitutional review for the Senate, your trend account. Did you follow every law? Were any of those unconstitutional actions taken? This process creates real accountability to yourself. And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of this entire framework. It's the philosophy that holds everything together. It's the personal oath that's required to make any of this actually work. And here it is. This is the core philosophy. The whole system is built on this one simple idea. Success in this game isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It is about having the discipline to obey your own rules, especially in those moments when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to break them. That's when it counts. You know, the real takeaway here isn't just about trading stocks. This whole framework is a powerful model for any kind of decision-making you have to do under pressure. And that leaves us with a great question to think about. If you were going to write a personal constitution for your own goals, whatever they are, what's the one rule that would save you from your single biggest mistake?